Today I'm going to be ranking all of the creatures in the Extinction DLC. This was definitely a hard list to try to rank all of them because they are a lot, but I hope you guys do end up enjoying this video. So just a side note, I am a PvE player, which means my views are going to be a bit different from a PvP players, so of course my rankings are going to be different. Also, I have done Aberration and Scorched Earth, so if you want to go check those videos out after this one, then make sure to do so. So number 11 on the list is going to be the Gasbags in the last place. To be fair, I don't even know why this thing even exists. It's basically a gigantic living air sac that breathes in gas and then shoots it out as if it's like a fart bubble. It's probably the weirdest sentence I've ever said in my life, but yeah, that's basically what this thing is, and it's not really that useful. Number 12 on the list is going to be the Gotcha. So I know to a lot of people this is probably one of the best creatures because of its resource gathering thing, but to me I don't really use its gathering thing that much, not to mention that it's been nerfed into the ground since it came out. It's still very good for getting those resources, I just don't really use it that much, and that's why I have it so low. So number 11 on the list is going to be the Enforcer. The Enforcer is probably one of the coolest creatures in the game. It is a robotic, I don't even know, thing that defends the city. In order to tame it, you have to build it, which is pretty cool. It runs extremely fast. It deals 4 times damage to, what's it called, wasteland creatures, or the corrupted creatures. It can climb on walls, and it can teleport, which is also pretty cool as well. This thing just has a lot. It's really good for traveling in the start of the map, or I guess not the start, but the start, I'm not really making any sense, but yeah, that is the Enforcer. So number 10 is going to be the Valanosaur. The Valanosaur is a pretty cool creature. It has a lot of cool abilities. First of all, it's covered in spikes and does a lot of damage. It can actually shoot the spikes from its head as if it was a machine gun, and then it can do that twist ability where it throws the spikes everywhere and kills everything around it, or deals damage around it. This thing was definitely more overpowered when it first came out, but now it's not as good as it used to be, but it still is a really good creature for killing things in the early game. So number 7 is going to be the Mech. Of course, the Mech is a gigantic robot. Now, if you're a PvP player, you're obviously going to put this higher on the list. For a PvE player, the Mech isn't really too useful. So, of course, it has the gigantic sword and the robot laser cannon shooter of doom. And then it has multiple attachments that you can put on the Mech. So you could put the force field. It also overheats as well if you use its jetpack ability, which can allow you to fly or hover around. Its first thing is the force field, and then it has the like missiles that go everywhere, and then it has the gigantic iron cannon thing that can shoot out gigantic cannon beams, which is, you know, a super cool ability. Overall, I think the Mech is really good, and this is where we're starting to get into the really good creatures of Extinction. So number 6 on the list is going to be the Snow Owl. The Snow Owl is one of the best flying creatures in the entire game. It has a lot of cool abilities. It has a great stamina and weight. It can literally go into thermal vision, which is pretty cool, and it can do like a dive bomb, kind of like the, Griffin. It can also heal things with its freezing ability, where it can freeze them and heal them, which is extremely useful. Say if you're fighting a boss and you got done fighting the boss, you could heal up your entire army. I mean, it might take a little bit, but it's faster than just waiting. So number 5 is the Manic Armor. That Manic Armor is definitely one of the best creatures on Extinction. It's super fast, like extremely fast on land. It can jump up high, dash everywhere, and it's extremely good. It has the Ice Breath, which can, you know, deal lots of damage. So it's great at travel and great at fighting. This thing has been nerfed into basically oblivion after the years. It used to be 1,000 times better than it is now. Even with those nerfs, I still think it is one of the best creatures on Extinction. So these next 4 were, I guess, like the Titans and some of the extreme creatures on, and I didn't feel like it was really fair to rank them with everything else. So I guess you could consider the Manic Armor the number 1, and these creatures are kind of like the, I guess, unfair ranking tier. But yeah, we're just gonna start from number 4 and then continue to number 1. So number 4 is going to be the Mega Mech. So this is literally the strongest thing in the entire game. It deals the most damage, is basically the greatest thing in the entire game. The reason it's number 4 and not number 1 is because you can only use it during the Alpha King Titan fight, and once you're done with that, it immediately self-destructs. But if it weren't there, then it would be number 1, or if it didn't do that. Number 3 is going to be the Forest Titan. So of course there's 3 Titans, all of them are really good. Forest Titan is definitely my least favorite because it's extremely slow, and on PvE I don't really want a super slow moving Groot, I guess, because this is basically just Groot. It does have some cool abilities where it can like basically create a forest around itself. It can build up a shield as well, which is really useful. And then you can grab stuff from other areas and then pull them to you and then crush them and insta-kill them in your hand, which is also pretty cool. Number 2 is going to be the Desert Titan, so the Flying Titan. This one cannot land, but I like it because it's fast and you can literally build a gigantic base on the back of it and you can just fly around and have turrets and all that jazz on there. That is why it's number 2. So number 1 is going to be the Ice Titan. Ice Titan is definitely like the coolest Titan of them all, and it was the first one that was actually announced, I guess. But yeah, it has its ice breath and all that. It can jump, which is pretty cool and definitely crazy for how large it is. You can also have a platform saddle like all the other ones. This one's a decent platform saddle. It is extremely strong and does the most damage out of all the Titans, I believe. And it also has the ice breath, and then it has the ice ball, which also does a lot of damage as well. See, but yeah, that's going to be all of the creatures for the Extinction one. This was definitely a hard list to make, and I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to join my Discord server. I'll probably have a link in the description or something like that. And yeah, thanks for watching, and bye. Also make sure to subscribe.